Hooray! They finally gave Millie some backstory, just like all the fans have been asking for every single day on Twitter since the pilot released. 5 years ago. Jesus Christ, is that how long it's been? I feel old. Now, I was originally making this script back before the Ghost Flavors episode was released to the public. All I knew about it was that it was meant to have Loona and Moxie in it much more prominently, but then the script got leaked, and for some reason that made Vivzie have a complete meltdown. Not about any of the other scripts though, just this episode's one, for some reason. Anywho, Loona got the axe, and they used the new script to flesh out Millie's backstory. That's right, they didn't use the episode where her parents were in it, they used this one. So, now don't get me wrong, I'm happy that Millie finally gets explored after half a decade of us all e-begging on Vivz's Twitter page about it, but I am slightly upset that it took this long. I don't know if you've noticed, but she's the last character in the show, bar maybe Striker and I guess technically Osmodius if we're gonna count him, to get a past exploration whatsoever. Hell, we even know more about Ferocica's past in a couple of lines than we do about all of Millie's. Both Blitzo and Stolas get an entire episode at the start of season 2 to flesh out all of their backstory, and it's the sole focus. Moxie gets a focus, although it's less on the past and more of himself. It still sort of counts, it's mostly about him. And even Fizzaroli got a couple of episodes all about him and his backstory for some reason. Many episodes before Millie got any attention whatsoever. I don't even think we've seen her outside of shorts properly for like half a year or something crazy. They just keep not using her for anything. For those in the loop, I'm sure you've already heard Vivzie proudly claim her intentions with the female characters in this show, with those intentions being to simply ignore them at all costs. It's why there's only 2 of them in the main cast and barely 6 in all of the extended cast, not including one-off appearances, but I'm fairly certain there's only 1 of them too. I have no idea why Vivzie has chosen to do this, but she doesn't like her female characters, which is weird because if she doesn't like them, she's the writer. She can change whatever she wants about them, but for some reason she just won't do that. They are her characters, well, they're Brandon's characters, but shh, we don't talk about that. Vivzie's name is on the box because she came up with the universe, along with 3 other creators that she didn't credit, but we don't talk about that either because it wasn't proven apparently, even though no. So both Dear Prime and Blitzo Main have explained that they don't like the character of Octavia for no reason, hashtag my bird did nothing wrong again. But I can't seem to find much evidence suggesting that anyone hates Millie. The only thing that people ever say about her is that she's one-dimensional, but I'm fairly certain that's because they would like her not to be, which, yeah, fair, she was supposed to be a main character, she's still listed as such on the Wikipedia page, guess someone forgot to update that 3 years ago. There's like a tier system, right? Loona and Millie sit at the bottom where no one cares, Moxie's sort of in the middle because he's a man, and then Stolas and Blitzy sit so far above the rest they've left the fucking stratosphere. Now, I don't often write entire novels full of amazing characters. As far as Penguin Publishing knows, I will remember this, Pingu, but it boggles my small inferior non-script writing brain that you would make such a one-dimensional character, use her for one thing, literally, she just punches people and is Texan. That's 2 things, but shut up. But that is all she does. Surely you would focus on making her into not cardboard, especially if she's part of the main cast. Possibly before Moxie, and definitely before Fizzaroli. You spineless fucks couldn't have anybody hating your little Blitzy, could you? Quickly, retcon the Robo-Clown before the Blitzo hate spreads, it's too late. Loona got a small bit of backstory near the start of season 1. Of course, it was presented as a Blitz backstory because we can't actually have Loona do anything in the Loona episode, can you fucking imagine? Then we'd have to actually pay a voice actor this month. You're an absolute hack. To be fair, she spent all of her money on Keith David, which, fuck you. I do wonder how much the famous cast cost though. I'm assuming it's more than the original cast that were loyal to you. I'm not talking about that today, that's for later. So the Millie backstory we get is actually kind of substantive. Sure, it raises more questions than it answers, but you know, it does its best. Oh, and before you sing Vivzie's praise on this one, I am 99% sure that Brandon wrote this episode, or at least spearheaded it. So once again, Ruggies saves us all from the cringe again. How many times do you have to not write your fucking show that you write, you cheese? Imagine if Vivzie had written this one though. First of all, Millie would have died off screen, so it would have been a Blitz episode. Also, Stolas would have been there and they would have fallen in love again, and no, look at the little Stolas shipping, it's so adorable. No! Resist, dear viewer! Look at the price we have to pay for Stolit! Millie is in a garbage can again, along with the rest of the cast. I don't even know where Moxie is. I think Moxie just fucking exploded. Decent writing died for your sins, Vivziepop. I saw someone call her Vivziepiss in the last video, and as childish as it is, I absolutely absolutely love it, and it's really fucking funny. Look, I'm glad Millie got some backstory. Is it enough? Not really, but it's a nice start, and if I believed it would ever get past a nice start, and that Vivziepop would ever allow that to happen under any circumstances, I wouldn't be as grumpy about it. But come on, she won't. There's far too much Stolas existing in the world for Millie to be allowed this season, or next season, or the season after that. In an ideal world, these characters would all be used for their respective roles, because the writing team wouldn't be one woman who has no idea what she's fucking doing. And that's the point of having a team, by the way. Not just the men, but the women's too, and definitely not just two men constantly with little to no focus on anybody else, because that makes no sense and nobody would ever do that. That's why all the staff you fired, Ted, don't fucking do it. But what do you guys think? Are you a fan of Millie's development so far? Do you think this episode was enough for her, or would you like to see more of her in the future? I certainly know what I want. Or do you simply not care enough about the character either way and just want more Stolitz content? I'm sure you've got thousands of episodes more of that. I'd love to hear what everyone thinks in the comments. It's always interesting to see conflicting sides of the same argument, especially when there's so many different sides to it. There are actually quite a few topics to cover regarding Vivzi's work, so if you have any you'd like me to visit specifically, list it down somewhere and let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the rest of the playlist appearing on screen shortly. Good night, humans. I'm going to increase my uploads to every 2 weeks for a bit to see how that goes. Shorts and streaming will also be returning to the channel, so have a look out for them if you fancy something a bit different too. And I'll see you all shortly.